sucker soup on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day. Kids got their quizzes.
Well, welcome to Schenectady today, in and around the capital region. We are so happy you're joining us today. We've got a great lineup today, lots of great information. Let me tell you who's going to be on the show today. We're going to be talking about Uniquely You, which is a women's retreat, and you'll be hearing about that. Then we're going to talk about the Duck Derby, which is raising money for autism. We'll also be talking about Circles of Mercy. They do some really wonderful work in our community, and they have a gala coming up. Then we're going to be talking about the Black Theater Troupe of Upstate New York. They have a premiere coming up here, and it'll be at the Sage Meter Theater. We'll be talking about that. And then, of course, our annual Juneteenth celebration coming up. And did you know they have a flag? You're going to see it today. And then we're going to be talking about the garden tour in Schenectady. It'll be in Schenectady, Rotterdam, and Niskayuna, and it's done by the Seroptimists, and they're raising some money for a very good cause as well. Our breaks today, since we've got a number of things related to the Juneteenth and the Black Theater Group, we're doing some African folk music, and I went to this concert. It was a small concert, but it was really wonderful, and some wonderful folk music. So you'll be hearing that during our breaks. But right now I'm going to start out with my friend Sharon Burstein. She does some great summits, leadership summits, but this time she's here to talk about a woman's retreat. Uniquely You.
We're all unique. None of us are the same, Ann, and thank you for having me back. It's always a pleasure to be here.
It's so much fun to have you on.
Thank you.
So tell me about this. How many women can you handle?
We handle only 20.
Okay.
It's a small group because it's all about you, and then we bring in international speakers.
Wonderful speakers. I saw your lineup, yeah.
The speakers are phenomenal and amazing, but you know what? You want it to be an intimate setting. Sometimes something can be too big, and it loses its intimacy.
Yeah. But it's sort of like mano a mano. You're being able to talk to these people. It's not like they're there and you're not,
Well, it's all about connecting.
Yeah.
So it's all about connecting not only our speakers to the audience, but, or the attendees, but the
attendees.
Connect,
they network.
Connecting.
What audience are you looking for?
Well, that's the great thing, because the women are of all age groups. And right now, our youngest is 25. And our oldest is 72.
Okay.
I'd say we have a lot in the 30s and 40s.
They can learn from each other,
can't they? Do. And we have a number of people who are coming back from last year. Some people, we have a mother-daughter combination. That's where we're getting
our... nice.
Isn't it? It's a woman who owns a major telecommunications company, and this year she said, my daughter is in the company, I want to bring her.
Yeah. And
it's just great. There isn't any age group or walk of life that it isn't applicable to.
What will they come away with?
A better understanding of who they are, because with us it's all about you. It's finding you and building you up to be your best you, internally and externally. And the interesting thing is, last year was the first year I'd had Uniquely You, and I'd been asked for a number of years because of Leadership Summit America, would you create an event just focused on women?
Yeah.
And there really aren't any that are small and really do that. I have so many testimonials from last year's group who said it changed their lives. I mean, that's not what you set out to do.
Doesn't that make you feel good?
It does, because
we've got photos. So this kind of gives you an idea of where you're going to be, right?
Absolutely. We are at Weowaka Resort, which is right on the shores of Lake George. The classroom, when we're inside, actually that classroom hangs over the edge of the water. The whole place, it's the oldest women's retreat in the country.
Really?
At the top on the left, if your viewers are watching, you'll see some of the views. On the right, on Saturday nights, after we come back from a major boat ride, that we have our own boat, we come back for campfires and songs. Last year we did we do team building with each other and just have a whole lot of fun. That was building flowers, because flowers are unique just like people. Mm-hmm. And on the right, that building is actually called the Georgia O'Keeffe building, because I don't know if you know Georgia O'Keeffe.
The flowers, she's known for her paintings.
Right, but she painted some of her major works at Weowaka.
I had no idea.
So it is a very special retreat and place, and when you get to Weowaka, and that's out of one of our sessions. That was just after our session with Angela Badeau, who's the publisher of Her Life magazine, and that was her topic last year was "You Are Royal," and gave everybody tiaras.
Oh,
And you'll see everybody with tiaras there. But
it would be so cool to have a tiara.
wasn't it? You know, I still run into some people who say, I've got my tiara right next to my nightstand. I mean, it was so much fun. Everybody
We have to have a little playfulness in our lives.
Well, you do. Everything can't be serious about everything that you do. And that's it. It's finding how to be your best you. We do some introspective kind of look about building you up, the happiness factor. We'll look at growing you, goals and objectives, whatever's on your life. And you know what? I can't copy you and you can't copy me because it's all about you. And then we do some team building and get people more interfaced and talking and communicating because we find people are coming at all different points in their life.
Well, you
And
got
for all
a
different
25
reasons.
years and you got 72. The 72 can certainly impart a lot of life experiences, but the 25-year-old can also impart so much to the older generation.
It's having these wonderful generations, and that's what makes it, amazingly special. And that I'm really happy because Angela also adds some fun things about make your life an exclamation, not an explanation. An explanation is one of her topics.
Exclamation.
Exactly, be an exclamation.
Yeah.
But we talk about style and how to be a better you, so on your outside too. But one of the things I'm really excited, how to declutter your life, those are some things. But this year, I don't know about you, Anne, but I don't know how to, self-defense. If something happened and somebody came at me, I don't know what I would do. So this year, I've added a class that we're
On
just going to
self-defense.
just on self-defense.
And there's so many things, the elbow is the strongest part of your body, and little things like that, and that.
Honestly, other than Sandra Bullock and Miss Congeniality when she does that whole thing with Sing, that's about all I know on self-defense. So I thought, you know what? If I want to know more about how to defend myself, I'm sure other people would too, because it also gives you more confidence.
Well, the thing is that as women, we are nurturers. We've been brought up to be nurturers. It's just our nature because our mothers taught us and our grandmothers taught us. We have never learned to hurt anyone.
We don't.
And yet, in self-defense, you have to know that it's either you or them.
It's survival.
It's survival, but we still go, I'm afraid I might hurt them if I poke their eyes or something.
Right.
So it's something that women have to learn. That
Well, how to defend. How to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And this weekend is really an investment in you. Because going back, just as you said, women are so great about taking care of everybody else.
Except ourselves, right?
Exactly. They invest, they take time for kids, grandchildren, extended family, husbands, significant others. And then the last person in the line is usually
And what do
ourselves.
they say? If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of
Right, so
anyone
this
else.
is an investment weekend of just being pampered. It's all inclusive. It's all receptions. We have a whole lot of laughter, but it's really connecting and being able to, if you choose to,
When is
unleash.
it?
It's June 28th through 30. We start
Okay.
Friday with
And
registration.
they can go to your website?
They can go to www.sharonburstein.com.
Good.
And they can do it there. They can also reach out, email at sharon@sharonburstein.com. We have a few, and I say very few openings left. We would love to have them. And if people are viewing, please say that you're signing up because of Schenectady today and my dear friend Ann Perez.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I know you're going to have a fabulous weekend with fabulous weather. Always. Oh, and I understand she's going to be catering a luncheon right now up
Dinner
in
tonight.
Ticonderoga, so the woman has to run. But anyway, thanks so much for
Thank
being on
you.
this show, and have a wonderful retreat there.
you.
Good.
Thank
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be talking about autism, so stay tuned. Just going to get that right off you. Good.
Hopefully that worked for you.
Yeah, good. Good.
Mama dear, Ivonga wena mama dear, mama dear, mama dear, mama dear, I want mama dear, Ivonga wena mama dear, Ivonga wena mama dear. Yo 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 yo. Yo 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 yo.
And here we are back again, and I'm going to stand up for just a second because I want to pull out $5 for you. Oh. Right? I mean, I've got to get a duck. I really do. And here's the $5 for a duck.
Thank
right?
you. And you get to choose your duck.
And I'm going to get to choose my duck. And listen, look at these ducks. Aren't they the cute? Now, these aren't the ducks they put in the water.
No, they're not the ducks.
These are representative ducks.
Yes.
And they have the ones with the little policeman here, and this is the little rubber ducky, but it's a little bit bigger than this.
Yes, they're about double the size.
And they have numbers on
them. We'll be putting about 5,000 into the harbor over by the casino.
I heard that you got a 200-foot crane.
That's what I have been told. And a 200-foot crane will drop about 5,000 ducks into the harbor, and then the fire department will then push them so that they actually race. And it's a
How
wonderful
are they gonna push
day
them?
with high-powered water.
Oh. So could you tell them to push mine a little harder?
I will give them the word. I don't know if it'll work, but I will certainly share the word.
And look at this one with a little mask on it, and
A zombie and a unicorn.
A zombie and a unicorn. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. Well, I think I'm going to have to take the unicorn. I'm just going to do the unicorn. Okay, there's mine. And you'll be sure to get mine in there. Maybe well, wait a minute. What would I win?
So there are cash prizes. I think the first place is $500. And
Oh,
then
really?
there's
Okay.
2 more prizes underneath
And
that.
they'll all donate that back to you, right?
Most of them will donate it back to us. We're in partnership this year with the Adirondack Aquatic Center.
I heard they're trying to break a Guinness book or something.
Yes, it's a Guinness World Record-breaking event. They hope to have the largest gathering of people wearing bathing caps in one location. They're expecting to bring
Where are they going to get all these bathing caps? Come on. I haven't seen a bathing cap since I was a kid.
They have them. They're hoping to get 3,000 people there. We usually bring about 1,000 from the autism community. So it's a big day. It's supporting 2 great organizations. The Autism Society is a hometown. We're right across the street from you in Schenectady on State Street. And the Aquatic Center would like to build an Olympic
wouldn't that be
facility.
wonderful?
And it's important to us as
Yeah,
well. We have
yeah.
the highest drowning rate of all communities. Our kids and adults tend to walk right into the water and with devastating consequences.
Yeah.
So having a swim
And you know I can't
facility.
swim.
And you can't swim. Well, then you really want them to be here as well. So
I need them to be lifeguards.
yes, well, they
Somebody
want
told
them
me
to teach you how to swim.
They said if you ever got in the water, I'd have to knock you out to save you. They tell me.
That happens.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful day. As I said, about 3,000 people will be there. Food trucks, music.
So it's an event.
It is an event, and we're building it into a festival. This is our 4th annual. We've been at the harbor. This is our 2nd year there. There will be a sensory tent for those with autism if they need to get away from all of the noise and music.
Isn't it wonderful that there's so many? I mean, the museum and some theaters are doing this. They're having special events, and we know that when we talk about autism, let's talk briefly about autism. It has a broad spectrum. I mean, the spectrum is huge.
Broad,
it goes
yes.
from Asperger's to severely
Yes.
autistic.
Correct.
And so if someone says, there's autism, don't think that you've got the idea of what it is, because
No, we say if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Right. It's such a diverse community. Their needs are tremendously diverse.
And some of it is sound.
They have a dysregulated sensory system. So we have those who are sensory seekers. They really like that sensory input.
Okay.
And then we have
And
those.
that's that one person that, you know. Yeah.
Then we have those who really have a hard time processing sensory input. And those are the folks you'll see wearing headphones. The
I
noise
see
is
them
too
come
loud.
to Proctor sometimes, and they've got the headphones on.
Yes.
And so I'm figuring that that's probably the problem. So I am correct in my assumption then.
Yes, they're probably trying to block out some of the noise. You know, what is tolerable for you and I is painful for many people with autism. Bright lights, loud noises, strong smells.
And that's why they announce that there's going to be strobe lights. Well,
Yes.
that's with epilepsy too. Sometimes those strobe lights will
Yes.
set off a seizure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there are things that I think as we go to these community events, you might notice that there's some changes because of some of people's problem. But we want them to go to these events.
Right. That's right.
So we really want them to go. So we have to have some accommodation. Sometimes it's simply having one performance set aside
it could be a lower
that everybody can attend. but it's catered to people that
That's
have
right.
the light and the sound.
Well, we've all had the experience of going to the movies, and it is so loud.
Oh my gosh.
You know that you're covering.
I don't
your
even
ears.
like
It's almost
it.
painful, and
Yeah.
so our sensory program.
And you can hear the theater next to you. It's like, wow,
Right,
what is this
yeah.
stereo?
And it's not safe for our hearing levels. But what we do is we amend the environment. You know, we have our families come out into the same typical venues that any other family would go to, and we can lower the lights, we can lower the sound, we can do a lot of things that are just minor accommodations that make it very tolerable and enjoyable for the whole community, really.
For the whole community, yeah. Because we have to be inclusive. There's just
Yes.
no question about that.
Absolutely.
So, when is the Duck Derby, and when can I watch my duck go?
Duck Derby is June 15th, starting at 11 a.m. over at the Harbor.
Okay.
And we'll run till about 3 p.m.
Okay.
Food trucks, music, lots of games, auctions, lots of fun things. Of course, the inevitable duck drop, which you can't miss because 5,000
Now,
ducks.
it's going to
200
be at the
foot train.
harbor, so I'm assuming it's like by the amphitheater in that area?
Yes, so right in
Okay.
there, that's the actual harbor portion of
Yeah.
it. And the crane will be on the left side of the amphitheater, kind of hanging over, and all the boats will be moved, so we don't have to worry
Well, I
about
talked
damaging.
to Ray, I talked to Ray Legier, and he was saying that they had to get a permit from the airport because of
Yes.
the crane is 200 feet high, so and it may interfere
Yes.
with flights. It's like, what?
Yes.
I mean, what planes come in at 200 feet? You know, I'm ducking.
Yeah, and we'll have drone operators there
Oh,
who
that's
will
right,
be
okay.
videographing all of this, and it's just a spectacular thing to see those ducks go into
and
that
it's free.
water.
Just
And
go
it's
and have a
free.
good time.
You can have a wonderful time. We
Yeah.
hope people will adopt some of our ducks. We're all over State Street and J Street. You can go online to our website and purchase your ducks. But I hope you'll visit some of the businesses along State and J Street who have our adoption centers.
Yeah.
Paul Mitchell, Pioneer Bank, Dilly Bean, Bombers, Light and Dirty.
Everybody
all of our hometown
supports.
people.
Yeah, they
yes.
do help. And the idea is that once you're down there, you can go to the food trucks and everything, and of course stop by with Druthers or one of the other places. There's a Dunkin'
Yes.
Donuts down there.
That's
There's a lot of
right.
places
That's right.
that you can pop in at the harbor, which is developing into a beautiful,
It is gorgeous.
almost an inner city in the city. It's like it's a new
Yes.
it's a new
community in
new
itself.
community.
Yeah.
That's the word I was thinking for that. So I want to encourage everybody to, and I suppose anybody in the audience, before you get out,
Sure.
they might buy a duck from you.
Absolutely, would
Make
love
sure
it
you
if
get
they
my
would.
name down and get my number on that
I'm
duck.
gonna give you a ticket before I go.
I want to make sure that my little duck, not my unicorn, but my yellow duck wins. So anybody in the fire department, blow hard on my duck. Of course, we won't know which one it is.
I won't.
Jamie, it's so good. You're the executive director
Yes.
of the
Autism Society of the Greater Capital
of the
Region.
Greater Capital Region, Criswick. Is that correct?
Crashwag.
Crashwag. Okay, good. I just want to get her name correct. So anyway, get your duck. Get all your ducks in a row.
Get your ducks in
they
a
won't
row.
be in a row there, though.
They will not be in a row
They
there.
will not be in a row. So we're going to take a quick break. Thanks so much for being here. I'm sorry
You're
Angela
welcome.
couldn't make it along with you. That would have been nice to have both of you on. But we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about another organization that's doing a lot in our community for families, for everybody who pays taxes. They're doing everything for much of our community. And that will be Richard Zizeki. Stay tuned for his interviews. And that's actually traditional African music that we went to an event where she performed. And actually, she's got a band, and she's not from our area, of course. She's from Africa, so she does perform all over. We were fortunate to see her. But anyways, Richard Zizeki is here, and Circles of Mercy has been on the show before talking about what they do. And what they do for the community. It's not just in one area. You cover a number of counties. Is that
Yes.
correct?
We're all through the Capital Region, Ann. Thanks for having me back on the show.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
My pleasure. We have a wide variety of programs. The organization was founded in 1997, same year that Schenectady Today was
I
established.
know, isn't that something?
So we're talking over 21 years of
Yeah.
service. We're a sponsored work of the Sisters of Mercy, and we have a tradition of providing hope, hospitality, and empowerment to the individuals in the Rensselaer community, with a special focus on women and women with children.
Yeah. So tell me what, because you have, you work with Layette sets. You work with. Let's take a look at let's see some of those slides, because I think the slides do show exactly what you do. So
Yeah.
here, we'll look here.
Well, we talk about it being founded by the Sisters of Mercy. So it's based on the Mercy charism, preferential option for the poor, life of generous service to persons in need, special concern for women and children, spirit of hospitality, justice, compassion, trusting in the providence of God, which I have trouble at times doing.
Hey,
Okay.
whatever works.
And then the sisters also, besides their vows of chastity, obedience, and poverty, they take a vow of service. And in that vow...
Are there still Sisters of Mercy?
Oh, yes. There's roughly about 84 still in the area. In the Northeast, I want to say it's a little bit more than 200. And then in the Institute, because we're right in the process of almost completing what we're calling the journey of oneness. And that is all the communities in North America, Central America, and South America will all merge under the Institute. So
Okay.
we'll have one leadership team.
Yeah. So you're
And then they have some critical concerns regarding the earth, immigration, nonviolence, racism, and women.
all these things have come to the
Yes.
forefront now. Yeah.
So in terms of that, what we try to do is provide those works of mercy to the community. We provide, as you mentioned, the free tax assistance program. We just finished that program here. Thank God. It was tough because it was the first season.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes, with the new tax law changes. Our operation at Circles, and that's where a lot of people from the Capital Region come in to get their taxes
Yeah.
done. We did over 500 returns and got back combined refunds and tax credits of $750,000.
Wow.
So that's just our little operation. We're the lead agency in Rensselaer County. The program's replicated throughout the Capital Region.
Yeah.
So
United Way,
through United Way, our partnership
yeah.
with the United Way and the leadership of the Cash Coalition.
Yeah.
And
Wildwood, yeah. all
Yep,
of them.
with Melinda and Andrea Scott from the Y. So regionally, we did over 8,000 returns. So we're talking somewhere around $22-23 million, and all that money
Think
could
about that money coming back
that
into our
comes right
community.
back into the local economy. Clients pay their bills, they pay rent, they buy their groceries, they pay their utilities bills. So all that money comes directly back into the community. There's not another nonprofit operation per se in the region that puts that kind of money back in to people's
But
hands.
not only that, because a lot of them that go to some of these tax preps, and not all of them, I don't say all of them, but they try and give you a loan.
Oh yeah,
And these are what, tax loans or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a loan.
Yeah.
It's a loan.
refund anticipation
Yeah,
loan.
that's it.
And then what happens
And
is,
you don't do that.
No, we don't do that. The process is completely free. As long as you have a checking or a savings account, it can be deposited within 7 to 10 business days. It's all done electronically. The state return, we do those. It takes a little bit longer to get those refunds. But the bottom line is, why would you pay? And we're talking
your own money.
Right. We're talking incomes of $55,000 or less, or $65,000 if you want to do it yourself on myfreetaxes.com. So that's just one of the biggest
That's just one of
programs.
the things. I didn't mean to,
Yeah,
to
no.
keep going on
We
that.
also do financial literacy training.
Yeah.
We partner with Cornell Cooperative Extension and TRIP in Troy for our financial literacy training. At Circles, we do basic computer training. We assist with resume preparation and job searching. We make other connections, because we don't provide everything.
But you have the links to them.
Right. We make those links. We make those connections to the other agencies for those other programs and services.
Because not
that the
everybody
clients-
has to do everything.
No, that's right.
And it's
you
not
can't.
efficient.
Right. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
So we advocate for the clients, and then we have a couple of programs that we do through the course of the year. So at Circles, we have Catherine's thrift store. It's my understanding it's one of the highest rated thrift stores in the region.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's got a great reputation. You got to, and you've never been to Circles,
No, I
but
have not.
it's a very small agency in a small space that has a big impact. And it's that those works of mercy, clothing the naked, educating the poor. Those are the things that Catherine McCauley, who founded the Sisters of Mercy, wanted the sisters and the associates and lay representatives to provide
You're
to
changing
those.
lives.
Right.
That was your intent,
Right,
was to change
one
lives.
person at a time.
Yeah.
So those are some of the other things that we do. Volunteer service options. We're always looking for people to share their time, talent, and treasure.
Oh, yeah.
We're always looking for volunteers in the thrift store, people to help do the tax preparation, becoming members of the board, and also helping us to mentor women.
Now, you need money, so how are you going to get it?
Well,
You're doing it with Taste of Mercy.
we're doing the Taste of Mercy. It's taking place on Wednesday, June 12th. This year, we're honoring Virginia Golden. Now, there's not a lay woman that I'm aware of that has the commitment to mercy that Virginia has. She has dedicated her life. She's not a sister. She's a layperson. She's married. She's got kids. She was the former president of St. Peter's Hospital and Albany Memorial Hospital, and she lives her life dedicated to the mercy charism. So we thought it was appropriate to honor her.
That's really
and that's
wonderful,
what
yeah.
we're doing this year.
So you're having this at the country club, I
Right,
believe.
we're having it at the Shaker Ridge Country Club. Our friends Ed and Eddie Shea from Touche Catering are hosting the event. As I mentioned, it's Wednesday, June 12th, 5:30 to 7:30. And if you're interested in going, please give me a call. Our phone number is area code 518-462-0899, or go to the website.
Right.
circlesofmercy.org.
And when you go, you're going to have a good time. There's no question about it. Every time they have an event like this. What's your band?
Actually,
Or are you doing a band?
well, we have just background music.
Okay.
Audra and Danica Novishevsky do
Okay.
that. But the group that's, we do 3 fundraisers a year. We do the Walk for Mercy, we do the Gala, which is the Taste of Mercy, and then we do an Irish night.
That's the Irish night I was
Okay.
thinking of. I'm
So,
sorry. Yeah, you have the band. Yeah.
Yeah, Frank Jackledge,
Yeah.
God rest his soul. His group of musicians and friends have been following in his footsteps since his passing. So we just thought it was appropriate to honor Frank posthumously, and also the other members of the band who help us for Irish Night.
Well, what I'm trying to say is you're going to have a good time, but more importantly, you're supporting an organization that does so much for so many that need it.
Yes.
So, anyways, thanks so much, Richard,
Well,
and
Ann,
I
it's
hope you
been
have
a
a great.
pleasure.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
always fun to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Because you
Look-
do such great work, and I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy
Thank
to
you
help.
for your
that.
support.
But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be talking about a theater group, the Black Troupe of upstate New York, and we're going to be talking about their. It's a premiere. You got to hear about this. Stay tuned.
boom. Yeah, boom, I was told to it. Here we go, boom. This one, that is
Hi, we're back again. I'm Ann Pearl. You're watching Schenectady Today in and around the Capital Region. And with me, I have the Black Theater Troupe of Upstate New York. And they're doing a play coming up. It's a premiere. Now, I have to read it because it has a title that I kind of, it's The Most Spectacularly Lamentable Trial of Ms. Martha Washington. Did I get it all in?
Yeah.
And I got Martha behind me. Lucy Breyer is Martha. And next to me, I have Mariah. Hi, Mariah. How are you today?
I'm good.
You're good. Okay. She's a new actor, and her name is Mariah Edmonds. And then we have Morgan Haywood. And then we have Angelique. And you've been on the show, Angelique, before, as has Lucy. We're talking about the play that is being directed by Patrick White, who could not be here today. But it's also being performed at the Sage colleges, and it's their Meter Theater Meter Theater it's called. So let's start out with our youngest. Now let's see, who would that be? Mariah, you are the youngest. How long have you been acting?
First time.
First time? Oh my, how do you like it?
I like it.
You do?
Yes.
You learn all your lines?
Some.
Hey, I think Daddy's in the audience. Is he? Make sure she gets those lines there. Good. But you're having a good time with it.
Yes.
And Patrick is awesome, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. What grade are you in?
Second.
Second? What school?
Don't start.
Where?
Don't start.
Oh, you're going to Doane Stewart. Oh, very nice school. Good. Keep it up. So we're going to go right over here to Morgan. So who are you playing?
So I play Priscilla.
Okay. And who is she?
So she is one of the slaves that serves Ms. Martha Washington. She's one of
You
the
had
house
slaves?
That's what the play is about.
Oh.
And
Okay.
I play opposite Angelique.
Okay, and you are?
I'm Doll.
Your doll.
Yes.
Are you a slave too?
I am, unfortunately, but fortunately, it's
But
a
it's a
chorus.
story.
It's a story, and it's non-linear.
Yeah.
And so we get to play a whole host of characters. Actually,
Oh, wonderful.
So the slave is the best part in this show.
Yeah. And I know that you have been in so many plays,
Yes.
and I know that Patrick likes working with you too. And
Love
have you
him.
worked with Patrick before?
This is actually my first time
Okay.
working with Patrick and my first time working with the Black Theater Troupe of Upstate New York. So I'm really
is
excited
John
about that.
or is Remy? Have you met Remy?
Oh yes,
Okay.
I know Remy very well.
Yeah, he's
definitely.
wonderful, isn't he? Yeah, he's such a great, and he had this vision, and it went from Soul Theater,
Soul Rebel.
Rebel,
Yep.
to this now. And Liz, wait a minute, how did you get in this?
I'm the token white person in this play.
But you are Martha Washington.
I'm playing Ms. Martha Washington, yes, and the plot revolves around Ms. Martha. The play is based in a historical fact, which is that George, when he died, freed
That's the President of the United States.
George Washington, when he died, wrote in his will that his slaves were to be freed upon Martha's death.
Oh, not even his.
Not his. And so the setting of the play is a short time, a year or so after Martha has been widowed, and she's ill. That is not a historical fact, as far as I know. But
Well, she probably got ill at some time.
at
so
some
it's
point,
probably
but
okay.
in the play, and the slaves, his slaves, who would be free if she were dead, are essentially
I
waiting,
think there's a
waiting
plot
for
here
her to
somewhere.
die.
Something's coming up here, bubbling to the surface.
Yes, so that's the conflict in the play,
Yeah.
is that they would like her to either just
Free
shed
them
her mortal
or go,
coil
or go.
or free them before she dies.
yeah.
And it's not clear. I mean, some of the play certainly takes place in her mind, in her fever dreams. Some of it may actually happen. We don't really draw a line between what's really going on and what's happening in her brain. But it really is about trying to change Martha's mind to free her slaves now.
Okay, and is that what your characters are trying to do? Is to
Yes.
convince
Absolutely.
her that maybe she shouldn't wait until she died to do a good
Absolutely.
deed?
There's a lot of this back and forth, and ultimately culminates in this trial of Martha Washington, but really putting to the test, we're giving you an opportunity and giving you all the information you need to do the right thing. This is why this is wrong. And it's up to you to decide whether or not you recognize that this has been a horrible crime that you've committed.
Yeah, yeah.
It's interesting because I was looking at the tagline, a spectacle of introspection, and as much as it is an introspective experience for Martha, I feel like it's an introspective experience for the audience as well.
Absolutely.
Because the way that the playwright wrote the play, it crosses through generations and talks about many different things that have happened during history. So we're kind of begging the audience to ask, is this right?
Right.
Did this happen? Is this how this happened?
And how is this still happening?
Yeah.
And what does that look like?
Yeah.
How is it manifested in today's society?
Exactly, because there's so many levels that
Right.
you're looking at when you look at this. I mean, maybe we don't have slaves per se,
Right.
but there's another element in here that needs to be addressed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, who do you play? Lauren?
William,
You play William. And who's
Yes.
he?
he's a little boy.
He's just a little boy. Okay.
He's a slave child.
Does he belong to anyone?
None of us gathered here, but yes, he is the son of another of the house slaves, and actually, I don't think it's a spoiler to say.
Oh wait,
that
is this
he-
like Jeopardy?
that he is also. What is it you want to call me? In the play.
Auntie Granny.
What's
He
she called?
says to Ms. Martha, "You're my Auntie Granny."
Ain't you?
And he says that because William is the son of Martha's son, Jackie Custis, and her slave, Anne Dandridge, who is her own half-sister. So there are some very complicated relationships here.
We need 23andMe by about now, right?
That, so far as we know, none of that part is historical fact. That is the particulars
Well, you
of
never
the
know.
relationships.
I
But-
just, I mean, they take liberties because we weren't there. We don't know, but we can surmise what may have happened through letters or through this or that, which takes a lot of research to write a play like this.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Because I just read recently about the musical Hamilton, that there's some question about how accurate, because they took it from one book that they had, but there's also another side to Andrew Jackson, and so so there's a lot of stuff in there that
Absolutely.
we don't know. Learn your history, so you know what's going on. Right?
Actually, Mariah has an amazing monologue in the play, which really starts at the beginning. And when we say the beginning, I don't know, maybe she'll do it for us, a little bit of it. But it starts at the very beginning and then goes through some American history that Martha's just sitting there trying to figure out what on earth she is talking about, because it's way past Martha's time.
Yeah.
And it really encompasses a lot of very violent and dramatic history.
That is directly correlated to the beginning of this slave game. So it's amazing.
It sounds like a wonderful play, and it's a premiere.
It
It
is.
is.
It is a
Oh,
regional
wonderful.
premiere.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been done in Philadelphia. It's been done in Washington, D.C., but so far as we know, it has not previously been done
here.
in
So in
New
about
York.
3 years, you're going to see the most spectacularly lamentable trial of Miss Martha Washington, the musical.
And Mariah's going to choreograph it.
We've been talking with the Black Theater Troupe of upstate New York, and they're doing a premiere. You'll want to see it. We didn't mention the dates. It's June 7th through June 16th, and that's Thursday through Saturday, and that's at 8 p.m. And Sunday they do have a late matinee at 4 p.m. And you can get your tickets. It's in Troy at the Sage College's Meter Little Theater. So break a leg, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Can
you.
I also mention
Yeah.
that if there's anyone who can't afford the very modest price of tickets, we also are having a free open rehearsal on this Thursday at 8 o'clock at the Meter Little Theater.
And what's really cool about that is that everybody kind of gets a feedback, and you know what works and what doesn't, maybe.
So
You hope.
just a couple of days we'll be before an audience.
Fingers crossed, good. We're going to thank you all for being here. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mariah, and I hope that you have a long history of theater in your life. Would that be nice?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Right, Dad? Okay. Okay. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be, and this kind of follows up because now we talked about the slavery here. We're going to be talking about Juneteenth and why that's important and why you should know a little bit more about Juneteenth and slavery, right? All works together. Stay tuned. Well, we just heard about slavery, and why is Juneteenth important? I don't know who's going to speak, but go ahead. Mickey Kahn. Mickey Kahn sitting next to me. She's the former director of the Hamilton Hill Arts Center, and of course Walter Simpkins, who is with Community Fathers, and Betty Harper, who was everywhere, but she is involved. She's a co-chair of Juneteenth. So let's talk about that.
So Juneteenth is the celebration of the end of slavery, and it is a national celebration originating in Texas.
I had no idea.
Yep, and traveled throughout the United States as a celebration.
And Juneteenth that's about when it happened, in the middle of June.
It happened June 19th.
Okay.
And the year escapes me, I'm sorry. But it happened about 5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. It took that long to ensure that the information was given to the Texans.
Oh, that was because they didn't have digital equipment, right?
That was part of the problem.
They were using the Pony Express.
The other part of the problem was that they wanted to keep their slaves as free labor for as long as they could. And so General Granger was sent out to Texas to announce both to the slaves and the slave owners that henceforth they were to be free. The slaves also knew that day was coming, and so it became an annual celebration. The now former slaves,
it should be.
Yeah, they went in search of their families and had reunions all over the place, and came back to, in Texas, the place where the announcement was originally made, and that's how Juneteenth as a holiday, a celebration.
And there is a flag, and she forgot to bring it up here, but I'm going to search for it, so I'll put it on my Facebook page. Walter, you are doing the Friday night, and I know I have been to the Friday night events at Vale Cemetery. They are inspirational.
Thank you.
No, they really are.
Yes.
Yeah. you have usually some music, but we look at the cemetery. Tell us about the cemetery.
Well, it's the cemetery. It used to be called the Old Colored Plot, and the community went in, cleaned it up, and renamed it the African American Burial Ground.
Yeah.
And so what we do is every year we go in and we kick off Juneteenth by having a ceremony where we're also respecting the ancestors because of who might be buried there. And we have some people that are buried there. 3 in particular are Jerry Jackson, who served in the Civil War, Margaret Robinson, who actually died at 103 years old, and she was in Schenectady during the American Revolution. And
oh my God.
Moses Viney, who also was a runaway slave from Maryland, who came and began to work with Alephiant Knott, the president of Union College. And when Knott died, he left him $1,000 and a carriage, and Moses went out and bought 3 more carriages and started a livery service. And also, I'd just like to say, a lot of people don't know.
I love your history.
Thank you. But when the Salvation Army first came to Schenectady, he gave them a lot on his land, because he used to like to hear them sing spirituals at night.
Oh, okay.
And this year, what we're doing is we're honoring one of our oldest fathers who participated in Community Fathers, Ralph Boyd.
Oh, yeah, I remember Ralph.
So yes, so we're saluting
The
Ralph
senior
Boyd
who
and the
passed
life,
away, yeah.
Ralph Boyd Sr.
Yeah, I think he was on my show many years
Yes,
ago.
yes.
Yeah.
So we wanna honor him, and we want also to give the community connection between the past and the present.
Yeah.
So that becomes very important.
And you make it, I mean, because you see kids there.
Yes.
Sometimes you have a little ice cream, maybe on the side there's
Right.
some a little
We always
something.
have an ice cream special.
Yeah, I know you do.
Social, yes.
Yeah, and Betty, and I know you're the co-chair as well, so what portion of this are you working on?
I'm the entertainment lady.
Oh, yes, I would imagine.
I put a search on for local entertainment. I really like to just look for the youth that are coming up. It's amazing how many youth we have out there.
They're talented.
That are so talented. And so it's a lot of fun.
And this is on Saturday that you're doing that, and
Yes.
if I recall correctly, it
Central
runs
Park,
like all day till 8 o'clock at
all
night.
day, from 1 until 8, and we have pony rides. We
Pony
have
rides?
Pony rides
Oh,
for the
okay.
kids. Yeah. The last couple of years, they've really been enjoying it too. The vendors.
Music,
We
lots
have
of music.
and we have an opening act which is called Il Funk, and really great guys. And our main act is our very own local George Boone's Blues Band.
I love
So
blues band,
everyone knows George.
And of course, there's nice seating. You do it at
Yes.
Music Haven.
It's
at
so
stage.
beautiful now. I don't know if anyone
Yeah,
has
and the
been
permanent
there.
seats. Yeah, permanent
It is
seats.
so beautiful as of last year.
And
the
everyone is
renovation.
invited to
Yes.
celebrate.
Everything's free,
whatever color
except
you
for
are,
the
just
food.
come and enjoy it and celebrate. This was a red letter day. Could you say red letter day? I guess. A red letter day because it ended one of the most horrific parts of our history. Not just United States, because it was the Dutch that kind of got involved in bringing to different countries. It wasn't just to the Indies and wherever. Was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. So I think
So we
the
need to
idea
celebrate.
that you have a date has been selected to honor the people who transitioned into freedom.
A lot of people don't really understand
No.
the importance
No,
of
but
it.
now we have the
And-
actors that have
Yes.
talked about Martha Washington, who I have to admit, I know a lot about history. I know who the presidents are and all this and who followed what. But history isn't just that. History is all of this.
Right.
Yeah.
And we learn more each year that we do this. This is our 19th Juneteenth coming up for us. 151 years of Juneteenth, but for Schenectady, the 19th. And we learn something new every year while we're doing it.
Yeah, and I love what you're doing, Mulder, with the cemetery as well. Please enjoy the day. It's free. Both events are free. You can come and enjoy, spend what you want, but please support these organizations that are doing such great stuff to raise awareness in our community. Yes.
I forgot. We're having a Father of the Year.
And who is that?
It's a secret.
Oh.
You have to come to Juneteenth to find out who the Father of the Year is.
No spoilers here. No spoilers on the show. We're going to thank you all for being here. We're going on with our next guest, which are the garden clubs, Seroptimists. They do a lot of good stuff too. So stay tuned. I'm Ann Pearl. You're watching Schenectady today in and around the Capital Region. Thank you all for being here. Thank you.
Gibe sathe, gibe sam shala zelengam shala ze, lomuntu yagilandela, inhliziyo yami yase yabalisa. Gibe sathe, gibe sam shala zelengam shala ze, lomuntu yagilandela.
And here we are back again. And I know it's cool today, but maybe it's not when you're watching it. But summer is coming and flowers are out. And you are having, it doesn't look very real to me. But the flowers you see at the garden show will be real. We have Frida Tansky with us, and we have Donna Jagone, right?
Jagone, yes.
To talk about the Seroptimists, which they do a lot of great stuff and scholarships and all good stuff. But we're going to be talking about not only why you should support them, but let's talk about the event itself, because we all need a little sunshine of flowers in our lives.
Oh, Ann, yes, thank you. The flowers are out and they're gorgeous. They're blooming. We were a little concerned with the rainy weather, but everyone's
they got to grow. You need a little water to make flowers grow, right?
And everyone's garden is beautiful. We have 8 gardens in Niskayuna, Schenectady, and 1 in Rotterdam, and everything from an old 1890 house that has whimsical fairy gardens, and we have a beautiful perennial manicured garden on Albany Street, and there's one house in Schenectady that has a little cabana. It's a little vacation in a little backyard. They have a swimming pool and a bar, and you feel like you're going to
you're in another
island or something.
Yeah, nice.
So all the gardeners put in so much work, and they're so proud of their gardens, and we just love to
showcase them. Well, I appreciate it because I have a yard, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't. The weeding and the stuff.
Right.
You're not. If you want to do a before, you come to my house.
Okay. So you don't want to be on our garden tour.
I do not want to be on your garden tour. But if you want to say, this is what it looked like before, and now we'll go to this house and see what it could look like, then that would be great.
We also partner with Schenectady ARC, and they have a horticultural department. And
and they sell plants?
They are going to bring their plants on the garden number 6 on Council Road. They'll be selling their herbs and their plants, and they are gorgeous, and they're a value for their price.
So you've got one on Council Road. See, I live just off Council Road.
Oh, you'll join us,
Yeah, I have to look at that out.
And we'll have raffle prizes, and we have 12 wonderful baskets you can buy to also support the cause.
Yeah, and I know that when they do house tours and things like that, that's usually what they'll do. But we didn't say when.
Oh, Saturday, June 15th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, and what do they do this? So you buy a ticket, and when you get a ticket, I've got this book here. This probably tells about, you get this right when you go.
You get your starting garden.
You get your, and then then it's a self-guided tour.
Self-guided, yes.
So I suggest you get 3 or 4 people together. Oh, how nice.
Yes, Jane Golub. She was a wonderful Schenectady Seroptimist.
Yeah.
For how many years, Frida?
Oh, over
Many
30.
years. Over
Yeah, she's
30.
a wonderful woman. Yeah.
And she had a kind heart.
And she
and
did.
giving.
She had the big heart.
Yes.
A big, big heart. So when they go, then they'll get. I suggest you get a bunch of people together and go out for lunch after, or breakfast, or whatever.
Well, that's the
Oh, I knew this was coming.
Tops American Grill has
That's over in Rotterdam.
in Rotterdam, which would be at the end if you follow the map.
Yeah.
Will,
And they have good food there. by
will
the way.
give us 10% of, if you go to lunch or dinner there on that day, they will give us 10% of the amount that people
Yeah.
spend.
Well, that's nice. So forget what I said about going anywhere. Go to Top's Diner. But it's a restaurant. I mean, when my kids were young, I lived in Rotterdam. So Top's was just a diner. Now I walked in there. This is a restaurant, and it's
And a bakery
and
and
a
a
bakery.
bar.
You name it.
And very generous. They give back to the community.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So then if you follow the tour, which would probably start like in Niskuna through Schenectady and then to Rotterdam, make it a day of friendship and sharing with your friends, male and female, because men are great gardeners too.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you may be worried about the Strawberry Festival going on in Niskuna.
That's right. That's
But
on Upper Union Street.
We have plotted it so that you will avoid the traffic.
Okay.
And
But they start earlier too. What time?
We start at 10.
Oh, that's when they start too, I think.
Oh, but you could come back because we end at 3.
Okay, so you could go to and do it all.
Do it all.
And it used to be, and I believe Juneteenth is the same weekend. Because I remember that we got up early and we went to there were 3 events that Greg and I went to, and that same day, it was like bam, bam, bam. We had a great time.
Yes,
and
it's
the ducks.
wonderful.
Yeah, and the
It's going
ducks.
to be a beautiful
and the
day.
ducks.
The ducks, yeah. Busy day.
I got my duck.
But you can buy your tickets online ahead of time at SirOptimistofSchenectady.org. And then we also have several vendors out in the community, the Open Door, Feldhausen's Experience and Design, Kulak's, Fadigan's, Hearts Cleaners, Oliver's Cafe, Scott's Homework, and the Pedal Pusher. You can buy your tickets there.
Yeah, so there's
Support
places
the
to get your
businesses,
tickets,
yes.
and get your tickets early because you can buy them that day, but it's going to cost you a little bit more. So let's do that. But just quickly, I'm going to say who's coming on next week. Open Stage Media is working with Channel Albany. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to have a conversation with Wanda Fisher. If you don't know who Wanda Fisher is, she is big in the folk music, but she's written a book on baseball, if you can believe that. And it's really good. I'm reading it now. Joseph House and Shelter will be on. Schenectady County Community College, they're talking about their kayaking. We're going to have the Jewish Community Center talking about their swim program. And Lisa Jeruzzi will be here, and we'll have a conversation with her about transformational conversations. So that's what's going on next week. But this is where we need to be on the 15th,
Yes,
right?
it is, yes.
From 10 to 3. Get your tickets online. Can I get online, or do
Yes,
they have to go to one of these places?
SirOptimistofSchenectady.org.
And
Tickets
you can
online.
PayPal or your
PayPal
credit
or
cards.
probably credit card. But before we end the show, because I did run through those, what does the Sir Optimist do?
Oh, we are an international organization, and our mission is to improve the lives of women and girls through education and programs that empower women. So we give out a Live Your Dream Award of about $2,000 to $3,000 every year to a woman who is head of the household and is returning to school, and that money can be used for anything. Supplies, living costs, books, and then we
There's
also
always
give
a cost involved
a
going
community
to school.
award, which last year went to the Boys and Girls Club. We gave them a donation, and we also give an award to a Schenectady County Community College girl who is continuing her education.
So you're philanthropic. I
We
mean,
are.
you were trying to
Yes.
raise money. So what money you raise here, because the tickets I think are around $20, or if the day of the
$20,
event is
yeah.
$25. That money all goes to, and I don't believe that you're paying the people who had
No,
that are
no.
showing their
No.
gardens. So all of the money that they raise does go to the community, the women in the community that are trying to better their lives.
100%. Even this GOLA generously donates all the printed materials, so 100% of the proceeds are going back to the community.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And this in the
Yeah,
book,
beautiful.
of course. And the book, of course, will give you the tour of where you go and a
Yes.
little bit about the garden. I didn't look inside of it, but I'm sure that it probably gives you an overview.
Everybody's garden, they write their own.
They write their own write-up on
description.
it. Yeah. So there's so much to do, and do something. Don't get off your couch or whatever. Get out there and support these organizations, whether it's the Circles of Mercy or Seroptimus or Juneteenth or Black Theater. I mean, we've got it all here. Please go, enjoy. That's what I'm here for, to tell you about what's going on. I'm Ann Perillo, host of Schenectady Today in and around the Capital Region.